Well, today I'm going to attempt to change the tires on my Tiger. I'm going to start first with the back wheel, and I'm going to use the old cross-spoke duck head on the back wheel, and I intend to use the new design cross-spoke duck head on the front wheel. First of all, I've got to figure out how to take off this back wheel. This is the first time I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be removing the wheels for the very first time on this Tiger 900 Rally Pro. It has been with me for just over 2 years and close to 16,000 miles. I've got a big trip starting next week Saturday. Next week Saturday around this time I should be on the road. So I've got to change these tires now. The tires are still not worn out fully. As far as my preference goes, they're almost down to the rear wear bars, almost totally down, but not quite. But I'll pull them off because I don't know what kind of weather I'm going to encounter on this trip. I've got Pirelli Scorpion Rally STRs to go on, and hopefully that'll be a good tire for this bike as well for my use case. Right now in this garage is probably 80 plus degrees. So it's going to be tough going from temperature perspective. I'm not looking forward to this, I'll admit, and I'm shooting this video in the hopes that it'll benefit somebody down the road. Okay, first time I'm going to be using this brushless DeWalt wrench on anything. Wow, really nice, works great. Now they said to remove this adjuster. Remembering exactly how it goes. Washer, adjuster, put it down in order, and we should be able to withdraw this from the other side. We got the nut here as well. Few taps on the hammer, and we should be able to pull this thing out from this side. Okay. Good idea to support the wheel while you pull this out. So there's the left adjuster and the spindle. Somebody said you might want to tie the brake caliper onto the swing arm with a zip tie. And that sounded like a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and do it according to the user manual first to see whether that is actually required. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and try and push this wheel forward and slip the chain off. Okay, take my hammer out. It's already slipped forward. Chain is already off. And now that's the only thing kind of gripping or grabbing my wheel. Okay, so this kind of is loose. Now on my BMW it's so easy because it's all self-contained in the hub, and I don't have to do anything. But right now the brake caliper is off. As a matter of fact, it's going to fall off. How can I get this wheel out? Okay, easy. Yeah, so it's just loose there. Maybe I'll put the zip tie on now. But you can probably see it here. The disc is sitting a little bit flush. It's I think slightly proud of the rim. Okay, so if you put this down on the floor, it'll contact the these are bushings here. Can you see that? It'll contact the disc if you're not careful. On the other side, you've got the sprocket. And the sprocket is well clear of the tire. So you can't put it down on this without risk of damage to the sprocket. So what I'm going to do is take these bushings out and lay them down on the correct side. So that's the right side for that one, and then this is the left side for the other one. noting how they're put in place, or how they're kept in place, and doing a quick inspection while I'm at it. So there we go. Wheel is off. Well, that wheel removal was pretty simple. You just got to be careful with the brake caliper. You don't really have to tie it on with that the zip tie, but it makes it a little bit easier because you don't want it to fall and tug on the brake line. So this sprocket is going to have to come off because this protrudes too much from the Rabaconda. The rim, I guess, spacers are not going to touch this. Even with this off, I'm not sure, because the hub is going to be there and I'm not sure it's going to touch, but I'm going to take these off now. So what have I got done? So I've unbolted these. This was like that. So I've taken this off, and this fits on top of the Cush drive. So these are rubber inserts to take the torque when the chain applies the drive to the rear wheel. These little rubber things here soften that shock. So they're called the Cush. This is part of the Cush drive here, and they're all together. Never had it apart. So hey, before I forget, there is a bushing that goes in here. It's a tape. It's a bushing that looks like this. Oh, if I can get it out, looks like this. So make sure you know how it goes back in, like that. Keep it all together. I would put this facing down so that this doesn't fall off, cause you complications down the road. Put it all aside in order, and you should be good to go. So this thing looks like it comes out. They're all stitched together. So you shouldn't be able to put it back wrong. Just take it out and just lay it down exactly how I took it out, like that. So it goes back in the same way, right? So now this is all as much as I can disassemble from this, but you can see this is proud of this. Hopefully the spacer is going to be enough to clear this. We'll find out in a second. All right, well, I went ahead and removed the valve core. Good news is that the blocks, the spacer blocks on the back of the Rabaconda does lift the hub off of the spine, if you will, of the Rabaconda, so it's not touching the back. So that's good. So the tire should be free of air. I've adjusted the bead breaker length, and let's give it a shot. We're gonna try and break the bead now. Might have to adjust this a little bit. There's lots of videos on the web about people doing this. So mine is not going to be a definitive, by any means, a definitive video on doing this. But it does take some fine adjustment to get this exactly right to where you can get this arm the right length so that you get the maximum leverage on the edge, on the bead of the tire. You just gotta do this several times. Sometimes it helps to have a little soapy solution. One thing I've learned with this exercise is that liberal amounts of these lubricants helps. And you've got to spray it in the right spot, of course. I think it's going to come soon. There we go. So just go all around, push it off. Now, flip it over. Okay. Squirt. So when you're removing, soapy solution. When you're installing, bead grease. It's gonna come. I think it's almost there. Yeah. So that bead is broken. All right. Time to get the old duck head installed. I put my valve stem at 3 o'clock and put the old duck head on. This is how you've got to have it. The duck head has got to be underneath, and this lever has got to be tucked underneath this here. And then we're going to spray this with liberal amounts of soapy water, and then we're going to take this tire off. All right. Oh, before I do, I've got to tie this wheel down. Now, with a street wheel, or a cast wheel, I should say, you put a pole in here to stop this from rotating. With these spoke wheels, you've got to use the strap. This strap here. Well, the strap is on down here, and it's on to the lowest spoke. And hopefully, with this Triumph bike or wheel, it doesn't break the spokes, because we've had problems with these spokes here in the past. So let's see. Oh God, this is the part that makes me nervous. The thing about the ratcheting thing is that you can bring it back to where you can get the best possible mechanical advantage, which would be here. I'm really nervous about that spoke. Anyway, here we go. I've got some spare spokes anyway, but I don't want to use them. And just like that, the first side is off. Now, to get the second bead off, you just have to reach under, make sure that the bottom part is, nice and slack in the center of the rim. Reach under with your tire iron, catch the other bead, put it over the duck head, and continue on doing the same thing. And it should come off. I didn't spray it. Yeah, that'll fall off. And there we go. Tire is off. Just like that. Old tire is off. Now what I'm going to do is take this wheel off and do a thorough inspection, because these Rally Pro spoke wheels have got issues. Okay, we're going to do some inspecting now. Remember I said I put some tape on the spoke to which the strap was attached. Let's tap that spoke. Sounds good? It's nice and solid. So I'm going to go around and tap all of these spokes now. I don't know which is the one that I replaced. I probably can figure it out by looking for the scratch marks on the nipple. But I'm going to just go ahead and tap all of these and make sure that they're all tight. So one of them has got a little bit deeper tone, but it's not slack. That's the one there. A little bit deeper tone. Let's maybe check this one for tightness. Okay, of all of these spokes here, only one spoke has a slightly different tone, and I wouldn't say it's slack, but I'm going to just check it anyway and make sure. So I've put the vice grip on, and let's check it. It turned very slightly, and I've got 3 Newton meters on the torque wrench. So I'm not tightening it anymore, although the book does say a minimum of 3. I don't know, a maximum of 100, who knows? Minimum of 3, so that's what it's got there now. And let's see what the tone sounds like now. Sounds a little bit different. So that's that. I'm happy with these spokes and how they sound. This time I used a little tape to protect the spoke while I applied my vice grip, and it doesn't seem to have scratched it or scratched it much, so that's good enough for me. Let's see how this thing looks for balance. Here is the, can you see that in the shot? There is the TPMS, the sender for the tire pressure monitoring system. I'm not going to mess with that. This rim looks really clean, but I'm going to give it a wipe down. It is factory. It's dry. It's got no gunk in it and anything like that. So let's see. Maybe the rim itself needs a little balancing. Where are the wheel weights on this? There's one weight here. This rim from the factory has one weight next to the TPMS. So I don't know. Does that mean that the rim is really out of balance without the TPMS? Without this thing here, it would have been more out of balance. That is weird. I would have thought it would have gone on the other side, but the additional weight is right next to the valve stem, which is the TPMS, you know. So if I were to take this off, it'll be definitely more out of balance. Let's put it here and see. Yeah. Okay. Maybe when you put the tire on, it'll even out. Who knows? All right. Let's clean this up, get this back on the Rabaconda, and start the installation. So I went ahead and put the wheel on the Rabaconda, and I put the strap on, and now I've got the wheel or the tire here ready to go. Note that the red dot is here, so the red dot goes and aligns with the valve stem. Oh, and I checked the tire rotation. Funnily enough, with this Pirelli Scorpion STR Rally STR tire, it only has the rotation mark on one side. I would have thought that conveniently it would have had it on both sides, but it's only got it on this side. But anyway, it shows that the rotation is this way. The disc is on this side facing up, which is on my right side. So this is the right side. So this is the rotation. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put some tire bead grease on the back, right along this rim here, and then push it on. Hopefully it'll go on without any problem. But I've gone ahead and tied it down anyway, so everything is ready to go. Now, putting on that first bead takes a little bit of fighting. You just got to kind of like, you know, use brute force and ignorance to slide it on. But you're not going to need to use this or the Rabaconda really to push it on. You're just kind of pushing it on by strength, you know, just keep bouncing it and it'll eventually slip in. Now I've got the duck head positioned at the 12 o'clock position, and I've got to put the front part of the duck head over, well, the duck tail, if you want to put it that way. Apparently that's got to go over the leading edge, which is the duck tail. It's got to go over the leading edge of the cross spoke duck head. So it's got to kind of go like that. And this part, the duck head itself, the part that looks like a duck head, has got to go under the tire. And then you got to use this drop center tool to keep it in place. Okay? So this clips on like that. Let me put it in place and I'll show you. You can see how the duck head or the drop center tool is fitted. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Hopefully you can see that. So the curved bit goes on the tire, and this bit, it actually grabs this rim pretty nicely. my dot is in the wrong place. So I've got to take this back off. And I've got to slide my tire around. Hopefully I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. All right. So my dot is back in the right place. Now it's easier to put this drop center tool close to where the duck head is. So again, you got to use a little brute force and ignorance to get that on. Good. Oh, and I see that the tail of my duck is off, is under the tire, so I've got to bring that back over again. There we go. And I didn't have to take this off. Good. So this is the beauty, like I said. This thing can just ratchet up and come around. So if you've got the wrong angle, you just move it around again. So here we go. Let's see if this is going to go on. Pirelli Scorpion STR. The wheel is rotating a little bit. Remember what I said about these spokes, right? So I'm going to go, it's tight, but I'm going to snug it up a little bit more, because the more vertical this spoke is, when it's strapped on, it's the less bending load that it's going to see. But this tire is going on pretty good. Now I've got two drop center tools. I can put another one. If this starts to slip, I can put another one here. But when I did the RS, I think I only got by with one. Let's see how this goes. This Rabaconda is amazing. I mean, okay, it's getting tight now. I'm more worried about that spoke than anything else. It's tight. It's only got a little bit left. Please, spoke, don't break. The Rabaconda has got all the leverage it needs. It's almost there. And she's on. I tell you, this tool is amazing. So all I got to do is pop this off, right? And to get my duck head out, I'm probably going to have to put my bead breaker on to give a little bit of a room for me to remove this guy. And that's it. It's off. All right, let's pop this bead now. I wiped off some of that goop. One, two. Perfect. Check. I'm going to check the pressure. Put the correct pressure in here now. $32 psi, so I'm going to bring it up to 42. Ah. 42 exactly. I like to give a little extra. Okay. Spit test. See, my core isn't leaking. No, not leaking. All right. So now what we're going to do, put the sprocket back on, probably do a little cleanup on that. Put the sprocket back on, the Cush drive, and then we're going to balance this thing. Now, those of you who are eagle-eyed, you probably realize that I didn't have to take the sprocket off from the Cush drive to do what I needed to do, right? I could have kept them together. Oh well, first time I'm doing this, so I'm learning. Now, the beauty about this thing here, this gun, is that it can go slow and gently, which is what I'm using. I'm doing, putting this thing on here, but it's got so much torque that if I were to go crazy with this, I can just break this bolt, because this thing will, I think it's, I forget how much, it's 250 pound-feet. So just got to go gentle with it, and you'll be fine. 33 Newton meters. That's the torque for this. Next time, of course, I wouldn't have to do this, right? 33 Newton meters. That's one. Huge torque wrench for just 33 Newton meters, hey? Okay, I think that's all of them. Just go back around and double check. These teeth are in excellent shape. 15, almost 16,000 miles, and they're all straight. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup here off camera, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about. You know, these teeth on this sprocket are in excellent condition. I just did a little cleanup. I don't want to clean it up too much. I don't like cleaning these things too much and making it, you know, totally pristine and devoid of grease. I like a little bit of grease on it. Friend of metal is grease, you know, so keeps the rust at bay as well. So I like a little bit of waxiness there to protect it from the rust. But as you can see, 15 and a half going on 16,000 miles, and these teeth are in good shape. Before putting this back on the bike, I've got to balance it. And to do that, I had to take the sprocket and the Cush drive back off. Yeah. Like I said, first time doing this. Anyway, it looks like this thing doesn't need any balancing. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Thank God. I didn't take the original weight off, so I just put the Pirelli on, put the dot with the, align the dot with the valve stem. And this appears to be perfectly balanced. Okay, so I had to use this zip tie. Luckily, I had one large zip tie here, and I was able to put that on to hold this stupid brake assembly. I don't know why this design is there, but okay. So this one axle spindle is got to hold the brake assembly, the wheel, and everything together. So imagine the pain in the butt it is to get this heavy tire raised up while you thread all of that through. And, you know, make sure that the bushings are all in place and everything. So that was a pain in the butt. But anyway, I got that done. So now I put a little bit of grease here, and I'm going to push this through here, and hopefully everything is the way it should be. Put this in like this. Hopefully I don't have to adjust the chain. No, I don't know which side is which, this way or the other way. So what I intend to do is to put it back at exactly the same tension, because last time I checked, the chain was properly tightened. Last time I checked, the chain was properly adjusted, and I didn't need to take up any more slack. But let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. I know you're supposed to do it while the bike is on the ground, but hey, I've been doing this for a long time like this and never had any problem. So I'm going to make sure that both of them are up, jammed up against this the adjuster nuts, and then I'm going to snug this up. So we've got the back wheel put back on, and the spindle is torqued to 110 Newton meters. I double checked the chain. The chain is probably got about 25-30 millimeters of travel, so that's good. I cleaned the disc as well because I was doing a lot of messing about with the sprocket, and a lot of that waxy stuff was falling, and I'm not sure where it went. So I just made sure I cleaned the disc and put everything back on, and then I firmed up the brakes because the pistons had retracted a little bit. So everything looks good. So now we're going to go and take the front wheel off and start the change on that.